Hello everyone, this is Matt again. Just decided I would record another episode tonight. So tonight I wanted to share one of my more recent poems that I think I wrote within the last couple of years. It's called I Am a Mix, and I just thought I would share it with you and then reflect on it. So here goes. I am a mix of so many things, of fears and of dreams, my thoughts and my feelings, black and white, mingling into gray, winter walking with spring, night joining with day. I am not one thing or another, my soul more than one shade or color, my life a comedy and a drama written together, the crowd attending my play as I pace nervously backstage. I am neither on one side or the other, neither left nor right, believer or skeptic, winner or loser, on all sides and none, man in the middle, outside alone. I am contradictions and juxtapositions, selfish giver, honest liar, faithlessly devoted, carrying light and dark within, a saint who sins. I am my failure and my potential, everything I have done and haven't done, everything I will do and won't do, every call I answer, every one I ignore. I am a collection of many stories, painful and wonderful, a wearer of many faces, from laughter to tears, a composer of heartache and of hope. I am who I once was, and who I am today, past and present, moving forward as one, and the world cannot see this hidden heart held by the stars and the sun. So, when I wrote this poem, I was just thinking about, well, I'm a mix of so many things. I feel like I've been on different sides of different things in my life, whether they're religion or politics or just I've been different kinds of people throughout my life. And I know when I think back that I've done some things that I'm proud of, and then I've done some things that I'm not proud of. And just looking at my whole life, it's just kind of this I guess I'm not just one thing, you know? And I think that's true of all of us to some extent. We're just a mix of so many things. But one of the things I wanted to talk about was how, well, lately I've had some friends who have been telling me, have been saying such kind and encouraging things to me. Been telling me that I'm a great guy or that I'm a wonderful person, and I, it's, I mean, that means a lot, because I admit I struggle a lot with my self-image and just how I think of myself, because I know I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. There's things that I'm ashamed of, things I've said and done in my life. I mean, maybe I've never committed any felonies or broken the law in any huge way. Sure, I've illegally downloaded music and that sort of thing, but aside from morally gray behavior online, there's not a lot that I've done that, could be considered criminal, but at the same time, I know that I've said and done things that have hurt people or have disappointed people, and I know I've said and done things that have hurt and disappointed me and myself. And even though I feel like I've learned and grown in some ways through my life, I still feel like I have a long way to go, and that I'm definitely a work in progress. And it's like I don't want those kinds of things that my friends are telling me to go to my head. Because, there's been times in my life looking back where I was very arrogant and full of myself. And I wonder if part of that was a reaction to being bullied and being looked down on when I was growing up, and so it's like I was masking an inferiority complex with a superiority complex or something like that. I figured, well, I'm not popular, I'm not cool, but maybe I'm more deep, and I'm more I'm more wise, or whatever. I thought I was in tune with things more than other people were. And even though I try to be someone that I try to be perceptive, and I try to be open-minded, I try to be humble, I try to be empathetic, I know that there are a lot of times where I fall short in that. There are times where I have blind spots. There are times I don't see things clearly. There are times I make mistakes. I screw up. And this just kind of goes back to what I was saying in that poem, that I'm a mix of all these things. And I'm not always consistent. I'm human. But the thing, though, that I try to take to heart when friends or people in my life, tell me things like that, they try to let me know that they think I'm a good person, or at least I'm a good person in their eyes. At least I've had an impact, a positive impact on their life, and which it means a lot to me. What I try to take to heart, I guess, is that all the darkness in me, all the failures, all the screw-ups, the things that I'm ashamed of in my life, the things that I sometimes wish I could take back, things I've said and done. I try to remember that that's not all that I am. I try to remember that I also have light in me. I've also succeeded at times. I've also, said and done things that I'm proud of, that I feel like there are some things I've contributed to the world or to others that I care about, or even people I don't even know, maybe, I hope. I think one of the things I'm trying to learn is how to love myself. And maybe that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to excuse yourself of everything, or that doesn't mean that you need to be narcissistic or egotistical. It doesn't mean that you give yourself a pass on everything. It just means that you try to see both the good and the bad in yourself, the dark and the light. It means that you try to see the complexity of who you are, the whole tapestry of yourself. You accept yourself to some extent. That doesn't mean that you don't want to try to be a better person. It doesn't mean you don't want to learn and grow. It just means you're not going to beat yourself up or cut yourself down because you still have some work to do, because you still have some things to learn or ways you need to grow. You try to be patient with yourself. You try to be compassionate with yourself. So that's something I'm trying to do. And I think that's kind of what that poem was about in some ways, that I was trying to look at all these things I see in myself, these contradictory things, these things that don't seem to fit together within myself. And I guess I try to see, and it's hard for me to say this, but I try to see the beauty in myself, you know? I mean, I remember one time I tried doing this mirror exercise thing I'd heard about, where you kind of look in the mirror and you try to affirm yourself. And I remember trying to say I love you to myself in the mirror. First time I tried it. It was hard. You know, and I could say it just kind of quickly and without a lot of without a lot of authenticity behind it, but I really tried to mean it, and it was hard to say. You know, and tears came to my eyes, and it just reminds me of, for so much of my life, I've hated myself. I've thought I was less than. I've thought I wasn't enough. That I, had to be perfect. I had to have it all together. So, the other night, a couple nights ago, I was walking home from work, and I had some of these kinds of things on my mind, just, feeling that sense, that I'm not enough, or that I'm not good enough, or I don't measure up. And there was this voice in my head. Oh yeah, Matt's hearing voices. Well, there was this voice in my head, or my mind, or my heart. I don't know. Could just be me, but maybe something else. I don't know. Anyway, it was saying something like that. For most of my life, or for most of your life, you felt that you're on the outside looking in, that you're not included. But this is a lie, because you are included. because you are loved, because you're not alone. And I think that's the thing. Because through so much of my life, like even when I was in school, I'd be the last one to get picked for the teams, or for sports teams when we were playing games or whatever, and I'd be the one that a lot of people would ignore or wouldn't want to hang out with, or the girls are chasing after all the boys on the playground, the cute boys, but they ignore me, and all that kind of stuff, and I would feel just kind of isolated and left out. Felt kind of like the weird kid, the outsider, whatever, and I've struggled with that feeling through most of my life, and then when I got into religion, with specifically evangelical Christianity, like I talked about in my last couple episodes, that fear that I wouldn't be included, that I'd be excluded, was just kind of ramped up inside of me, especially with the whole doctrine of hell. The whole idea that you'll go to hell if you don't meet certain standards or measure up in a certain way, that you have to believe the right things or live the right way, or else God's going to thump you, or God's going to throw you away. And so that's a fear I've had for a long time. And even though I left the church and I rejected the doctrine of hell, and I no longer believe that, or maybe in my darker moments I'm afraid I'm wrong, that there is such a place and that I'm going there, but it's something I push away. But even though I do push that away and I reject that as a horrible and destructive belief that some people have, or many people have, even though that's the case, there's still that just fear inside of me. And that voice inside of me was telling me that that's a lie, because you are included. And one of my friends, I was telling her about this experience, and she validated it, and she's saying it's true, you are included. And of course, I'm sure, my friend's biased, she's my friend and she loves me. But still, it's something I'm trying to take to heart. And that's the thing, it's when you feel like you're a mess, when you feel like there's all these things about yourself that you just don't like, that you just wish weren't a part of you, because you feel like those are the things that make people not want to be around you, or not want to talk to you, or at least not a lot of people. You just don't feel like you really fit. But the thing is, I wonder if that's kind of how all of us feel on some level. I mean, the truth is, all of us are a mix of things, a mix of darkness and light, right and wrong, whatever. We're human. We're sure some of us can be more kind. Some of us can be more cruel, depending on how we end up. But the thing is, we're a collection of all these different experiences and ideas and thoughts and feelings and strengths and weaknesses and hopes and fears and doubts and dreams and all kinds of things. And so, and that message, I think, maybe it's something all of us need to hear on some level, that you're included. Especially those among us that feel very isolated and very alone, that don't hardly have any family or any friends, or anyone that tells them that you're a good person, that you're wonderful. And I'd like to think that everyone has value and worth, even if they can't. Even if nobody thinks that way of them, even if they themselves just can't see that, or even if no one else can see it, that just by existing, just by being here, you already have worth and value. You don't have to do anything to deserve it or earn it. It's just inherent. It's just part of who you are. Now, you can live in such a way that you show that to others more. That you make it clearer to them. And you can reach for your full potential as a human. And I think part of that has to do with love. Or maybe the whole thing has to do with love. But you still don't have to meet some kind of standard. Live up to some kind of expectation to matter, to be included. And that's a hard thing to wrap my mind around, especially, and I know that's a hard thing for a lot of us to wrap our minds around, especially, with people that we hate or despise, or people that we see as evil or wrong. But it's something I guess, something that rings true to me. Even if it's something that's hard to really take in, to really embrace as true, including for myself. So, at the end of that poem, I say, "This hidden heart held by the stars and the sun." I think that whoever I am deep down, I think that's who longs to be included. And I think in the same way, everyone has a hidden heart that also longs to be included. And maybe that voice, wherever it comes from, my higher self, maybe God, who knows? Maybe there's something someone, I don't know, that holds us. Maybe there's a light that holds us, that holds that hidden heart. No matter what we say, no matter what we do, no matter what we don't say, what we don't do, no matter what mix or collection of things we might be made of, good or evil, darkness or light, there's something, someone that holds that hidden heart, that, I guess, that spark of the divine, or the source, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Even this this recording is a mix. A mix of so many things. Collection of thoughts and feelings that probably don't all fit together. But it's me. Like I said, I can't claim to be perfect. I can't claim to get it right all the time. I'm just trying. I think that's all any of us can do. Well, anyways, I just thought I'd share that. And I just wanted to say to anyone out there that feels isolated and alone, like they're on the outside looking in, like they're not wanted, like they don't matter, I just want to say you're included. Thank you for listening.